Hello, everybody. I'm Michelle Needens. I'm one of the social workers at the KU Alzheimer's Disease Center. And we are going to look at a series of conversations for Mindful Minutes called Lessons from Literature. So this will be a series of 4 talks, really thinking about perspective and emotional concepts as we face a new diagnosis, perhaps, of a dementia or mild cognitive impairment, what that emotional terrain looks like, and perhaps lessons that the poets and others can give us. So you have to know about me, that I think there's a lot of lessons that surround us all the time, whether that be in the natural environment or through music or through literature. And so bear with me a bit, and I hope you stay in there with me. And perhaps some of you, like I, are individuals that appreciate those talented people that offer us writing. All of you are familiar with Robert Frost. And our conversation today is going to be grounded in perhaps his most famous poem called The Road Not Taken. So I'm going to read it, and then we're going to think about, from the perspective of a new diagnosis or the experience of early dementia, mild cognitive impairment, how does that play out, and how do we think about some of those pieces. So The Road Not Taken. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood and looked down as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair and perhaps having the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for the passing there, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. I don't know all of what he meant in his poem, but the concept in our lives that there have often been 2 roads that we had to choose one. And you, like most of us, might even say, we'll leave the door open to the other. If this doesn't work, I'll try the other path. And knowing how way leads on to way, we never find our way back. And sometimes that's okay. And maybe there have been feelings, thoughts around some of those pieces in our life. We hear terms like midlife crisis. I don't know that I believe in midlife crisis, but what I do believe that there are important junctures in our life where we begin to ask critical questions. Maybe sometimes that's midlife. Maybe that's sometimes when we get diagnosed with a significant disease process. Maybe that's a time in our life when we undergo some sort of significant loss. And all of those things force us to do a little bit of what we might call life review. And there's some common questions in that life review process. Was I as good a person as I should have been? Should have I done something different? Did I make mistakes? Did I save enough? Was I too careless? Did I make the right decisions, the big ones? Did I make the right choices? Did I marry the right person? Did I follow the right work path? Did I use my time and resources in a way I'm proud of now? Are my relationships what I wanted? Did I invest in them? I wanted to, whatever it is, but I just never got around to it. Why didn't I? And a really important question is it too late? And what of those questions is still relevant? Now, for some of you, you're going to look at those questions and you're going to say, are they really important to ask? And fair enough, we don't all ask them. And that's okay too. But I know, as some of you know, that these life review questions come up, and important to look at them honestly. Not because we want to put ourselves in a position where somehow we come up short, where somehow it drives some ruminative belief that we're not good enough or that we failed in some way. That's not where we want to be. We want to come to a point where we see, life isn't all good or all bad, that we've moved in the direction we thought best at the time. So just acknowledging those questions can emerge. And when we're thinking through all of those things, not only are we thinking about planning and navigating some of the compensatory strategies so that we're keeping up with what we need to do and feeling good about it, and using what we have now for greater good. Not only are we keeping track of all that, but there's these personal questions that plague some of you. How do we resolve some of that? How do we direct our thinking about some of that? And first and foremost, we come to some peace that we did the best we could at the time with the knowledge and resources at the moment. Maybe you grew up just a little bit later. Maybe you had a traumatic history that impacted how you thought about things. Maybe you didn't have some behaviors modeled to you and it never really was comfortable. Maybe at times you didn't give enough thought to something or other because you were driven by the demands of the day. And maybe the choices you made, good, bad, or indifferent, were absolutely born out of love. So we come to peace with, we did the best we could with the knowledge and resources at that moment, in those times, in that context. There are so many, there's so much power and so much life to be lived now. We need to make peace with that. And it's not too late. The best we can do now with the knowledge and resources we have now is what moves to the forefront. Is there a relationship that went a bit awry that you never fully understood? Is there someone who you weren't as close to, but you wish you were? Maybe you write a note, maybe you write a letter, maybe you make a call, maybe you apologize. There's a whole bunch of ways. Not every relationship can be healed. Not every mistake can be reversed. Not necessary. It's not necessary. It's not about fixing. It's about doing the best we can now with the knowledge and resources we have now. And And if you have something that is important for you to do, that you have the power to make something better, do it. And then there's this concept of forgiveness. You know, I had a gentleman tell me one time, this is shortly after he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, younger onset, I should have exercised more. I should have taken better care of my health. You know, all of these things probably gave me Alzheimer's disease. No, you know, were they risk factors in some way? Maybe. Are we sure you wouldn't have got it if you had done all those things? There are certainly athletes, people that are healthy, spend all their time with health, they get Alzheimer's disease. The risk factors are complicated. So let's not go back and relitigate the risk factors that we may or may not have had control over. And so part of what we need to do is this concept of okay, here's what I know can help now, and I'm going to try to be healthy now. I'm going to try to grow relationships now, and I'm going to forgive myself for decisions and mistakes that I made years ago and had no idea, was not thinking about the consequences and reactions of others. And then another consideration is this rejection of generalization. Certainly talk to people who have said, you know, I wasted my life. I wasted my time. Maybe I was with the wrong partner. You know, maybe I destroyed a relationship. Maybe I wasn't aware of what I was doing to my kids. I don't know. But all of those things along the path, there were good moments. No one will ever be able to convince me that every moment of someone's life was bad. No one will ever be able to convince me that every moment of someone's life was purposeless. So let's think about what you did right. And let's think about what you're doing right now. And part of that is understanding what we have within our control. Okay, you've been diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment, early Alzheimer's disease. Life changes a bit. Life changes a bit. And yet there's parts of life that don't change. So which change, which don't? What do you have control of? You can be a support to your family. You can be an inspiration to others. And you can be at peace. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. That applies now.